Okay, today we're going to show you how Southern Gothic is played. First, we're going to go over the character sheet. So, of course, you have your character's name here, her family bloodline here. Now, we do have a video going over the bloodlines of the game. If you want to know more about that, you can hop on over to that and check it out. Anyways, certain bloodlines give you certain boons and curses you can pick from. We won't go over how that's created in here. That's going to be in the game, but this is just an overview of how a character sheet looks and roughly runs. Okay, then you have your background here, which is how your character grew up. Now, when you pick a background, what it does is it's going to give you certain points to put in any of these skills here that are relative to how you grew up. So those would be your base right there. And then after you do that, you have your profession, which is what obviously you grew into. So for her, she grew up in a faith-based house, and well, maybe being a bad preacher's daughter, grew to be a bit of an outlaw. So she got points for that as well to be spread amongst here. Now, once all that's done there, you have all these base points, but then you get a certain small pool of points you can put in things to up those things and make them better, or things you didn't get, you want to get, you can do. We'll hop back to skills in a minute. Attributes range from 1 through 20. 1 being absolutely garbage, 20 being really good. We have brawn, finesse, stamina, soul, education, and instinct. Brawn obviously is how strong you are, how tough you are, things like that. Finesse is obviously your manual and physical dexterity, and stamina is how healthy you are, how much you can take damage. Soul is pretty much almost like your soul, equivalency of stamina. How much can your soul take? Education, obviously how well educated you are, how much schooling you got. And instinct is basically your ability to perceive and notice things, small details, a little bit of willpower in there too. So, now in some games you have a flat amount of hit points. We don't have that here. We have what we call wound level statuses. So you do have hit points, but they are in each level. So scratch for her, she has 20, which is pretty darn good. And it continues on down. Okay? So if she took 13 initially, she'd take 13 off that, she'd have 7 left in that. Then let's say a little bit later in the combat she takes 10. Well, she had 7 left. Well, that's going to go away, and the 3 is going to carry over to injured. Now once she's done that, once you hit these categories, you suffer that penalty to your skills. Okay, we'll go over skills in a minute. But same with badly injured, you're -3, and then down. It just means you're down, okay? And if you go beyond that, well then, God rest your soul. Stability is basically your ability to keep shit together, because there's a lot of horrible things in here. And it has your hit point levels as far as your stability as well. So you go from calm to nervous to distress to catatonic. Let me hop on down to your little sub-attributes here. Movement, if you're doing miniatures, which we're going to be doing right over here. That'll show you, say if you're moving 9 inches. Damage bonus, how much you add for melee and hand-to-hand combat, and then fate. In this case here, I'll be using these things here for your fate, and we'll go over that when we do the combat. Okay? And skill resolution. Let me hop on down here. She's got family boon. Now for her, the Whitecliffs, well, they kind of got busy with succubus back in their bloodline. So needless to say, they got some things that a succubus might have. And in this case here, Caroline was gifted with angelic looks. Now it gives her +3 in persuasion, but also too has a little bit of negative effect for those who might not be so easily persuaded by her feminine charms, let's just say. Family curse, she has there's uncontrolled charisma. So basically, because she's so good looking, so charismatic, and just so alluring, she gets people's attention whether she wants it or not, and sometimes people bother her, and sometimes people stalk her. So it can be a bit of a problem there. Talents. Now these are things that you can take that are different from your bloodline here. And in this case here, she took Shock and Awe, which actually came with her Outlaw package. And we'll go over that another time there. And then Combat Awareness, where she gets a bonus to her initiative, her alertness, dangers involved, okay? So, now let's hop on over to skills here. Now, skills, this is the main thing here. So, in this game here, you'll see I have written down 2 different numbers. So for her, she's got alertness, which is instinct based. So she has 4 levels in alertness. Now when you're building your character, skills range from 1 through 10. Okay? 1 being, you got just barely enough there to maybe get by if you're lucky. 10 being really, really good. Now when you make your character at creation, you can't get any higher than 1 skill at 7, and everything else has to be at least 6 or below. But you can gain experience and increase these things and make them better. That being said, if she's using her alertness, it's linked to her instinct. Now her instinct is an 11, and she's got a 4 for her skill, which means she has to roll a 15 or below, which is average. Now it might sound good if you're using a D20, but we're not using a D20. We're using, ta-da, a D30. I know some of you might run like, D30, holy crap. D30s are easy to obtain if you have a Dungeon Crawl Classic set. You already have one, okay? But these give a little bit slight variation to the 5 percentage point per pip on a D20. This here is a 4.2%. So it's a slight variation, but we found with this here, it gives it a little bit more stress factor, and being a horror game, who doesn't like a little stress, right? So in this case here, she's got average in her alertness. So if I have to roll with no modifiers, I'm just going to roll a straight 19. Not great, okay? So she just misses it, okay? Now, let's hop over here to good old fate points, okay? Now in this case here, she has 3 fate points. Now, in this case here, let's say, for example, she really wanted to make that alertness. If she wants to spend this, she can, and reroll it. In this case here, it's a 20. Not any better, okay? But she used her point, she tried, done. Now, let's say, for example, also too, she's in a combat and she's trying to really take down some dirtbag that she don't like. And let's say she rolled damage and it was okay, but she's not thrilled about that. If she wants to spend that, she can add +6 to her damage, okay? And finally, let's say, for example, she's taking a lot of damage. Let's say she's down and injured and she's about to go into badly hurt, okay? And she can say, you know what, I want to spend this to heal up half my stamina. And half her stamina is 6 points. That might put her back to the category she wants to be in, or keep her from going to the category she's going to go into. And you can actually use that for your stability too, and that is based off your soul there, okay? So you get half that back, okay? So that's how fate works, and that's how skills work. Now, like I said, you do have bonuses or minuses, depends on modifiers. And GM will allow certain things, so you might get creative on that. And some of your talents will give you bonuses to certain things as well too. Now, had she been somebody who was a profession of like a holy person or a warlock, she might get spells or miracles, loas, which are voodoo spirits, and alchemy. So, and actually we're going to have enchantments on here too, which didn't make the sheet, but will. Then she has her equipment. In this case here, she has a pistol, 2 knives, and a derringer. Okay, so when we do combat, we'll go over all that. Hopefully that answers some questions as far as the character sheet and roughly how skills work. And I'm really rolling crappy. Of course, if you know me, if you ever see me play, I never roll good. I always roll terrible. And to give you some hope here as far as how good a character could be. Now in her case here, her best skill is stealth. And she's an outlaw, she doesn't get caught. She's got 23. I'm corrected here. Firearms actually is her best. She's got 24. So she knows how to shoot, she knows how to sneak, and she knows how to persuade people. And if she's actually persuading somebody who might be open to her flirtatious behavior, she could use her angelic looks to add 3 to that, making it a 25. So she's got a good shot at persuading someone to do something stupid. So there you have it. That's roughly how a character sheet looks and works. And in a second, we'll go over combat with Caroline and this nasty thing right here. So stand by. Okay, we're back for show you how combat is done with Southern Gothic. Okay, so first things first, we're gonna be having Caroline face up against this harvester demon, nasty creature. Okay. Anyways, in this lovely backdrop here, ignore the stuff in the background. So to determine initiative, we're going to roll a d10 and add their finesse. And in her case here, I'm going to roll for her. Her finesse is a 17. So we got a 9 plus 17, it's going to be 26. Now, she does have combat awareness, which gives her a plus 4. So I mean, she's got 30. And this girl is quick, okay? So don't mess with her, okay? This schlub over here, he has a finesse of 14. Not too shabby. And he has no other bonuses. So I'm going to roll here, 6 plus that, 20. Now, against a normal person, that'd be kind of terrifying, but her, she's quick, and she means business. So, she'll go first here, okay? So, in this case here, we're going to say she's at this distance here. And I don't exactly have markers on here, but I do here on the board here. So, we know she's at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces away. Easily within distance, okay? Not a problem, okay? In fact, somebody might say she's in short distance, okay? So in this case here, we're going to give her a plus 2, okay? So, what we're going to do here is we are going to roll her firearms. She's going to use that. And her firearms here is a 24. You probably can't see that. I guess I'll put it up here. So, her firearms is a 24. So, it means she has to roll 24 or below. In this case here, I'm giving her a plus 2. Going to roll the dice. It means we have to get 26 or below. And in this case here, I rolled a 3. Hot dog, okay? Now, in this game, because it is a 1 through 30, 1s and 2s are criticals, okay? But if your skill plus your attribute combination is over 20, 1 through 3 is a critical. So, da-ding, she got a critical, okay? Wow, that's unusual for me. Maybe just because I'm running this test thing here on the video. Anyways, so she does a critical. That's great. So what we're going to do is we're going to roll on the crit table. Nice example to show how that works too. Okay. So on the crit table, we're going to roll a d12. The underappreciated dice. So, at least my opinion. Roll a d12, and we got a 2. Now, on the table, it means double damage. Whoo! She got to smoke him before he probably has a chance to do anything. Now, her damage for her pistol is 3 dice 6 plus 2. I roll this. I have 2 on me right now. So, wow, that is craptastic. Okay, that's more like my luck here. Okay, so that's a 2 so far, plus 2. Wow, 4 times 2 is 8 points of damage. Okay, that really sucks. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, because we're going to use her fate, because she's not going to be happy with that. If I spend her fate, it gives her plus 6 to her damage. Now she rolled a total of 4, plus 6 is 10. And the critical is times 2. So she did 20 points of damage. That's significantly better. Now okay, this jerk here, he has wound level of 30. Okay? Pretty nasty. So it means he just took 20 points of damage. Ouch. Okay? He's still up, he's angry, and he's going to want to do some terrible things to her. Okay? So his go. Okay, now he has the abilities of a few things like Demon Blade, Scythe, Bite, Tentacle Grab, Dimensional Door. What we're going to do here is, because he got hurt so bad, he probably wants to do some retribution on her. He's going to move up on her, and now his move is a 7. That's well within 7 here. Moves up here, and he will attack her. His melee is a 6. His finesse is a 14, means he has to get 20 or below. I roll, and I get a 20, right on the money here, okay? So he just hits her. Not cool. She's not happy about that. So, now he's a nasty little beast here. He's got a scythe, okay? Which is a pretty big blade. And it's going to be 3 die 8 plus his damage bonus. His damage bonus is a d6. So we're going to roll these 2 here. I got an 11 plus an 8, okay? The skull is an 8. Alright, done. Forgot what I rolled. We'll say 5 for right now, okay? Could be wrong. 5 plus 4 is 12, plus 8, 20. Okay, not good. Plus a d6. Wow. It's 23, we're going to say, okay? And she's not too happy about that. So, she, because if she did that, she'd be going from scratched to injured in one fell swoop. Okay, so she's going to spend this to cut down damage to half her stamina, which will be 6. So instead of taking 20, I can't seem to add today. 23, okay, she'll cut it in half, round up in her favor. So, 23 minus 6, my bad. I can't do math today. Maybe I shouldn't be shooting this video. 23 minus 6 is going to be 17. So, means she's still in the scratch category. She's at 1 fate, but she's still up, okay? Next round. Roll again for initiative, or if you want to, you can keep the same initiative. So in this case here, we're going to keep the same initiative, so we're not just being repetitive here. So she'll go first, and she's going to attack. She's going to shoot her pistols again, and now she's at point blank range. You give her plus 5 in her favor. So she goes from a 24 to a 29. Good odds. Holy crap. She really wants to hurt this guy. I rolled a 1. I never rolled this many crits ever. Okay, so damage again is 3d6 plus 2. Which, if I remember right, we didn't add the plus 2 before, but okay, so wow, better. 6 plus 5 is 11. Wow, plus 6 again is 18. Plus 2 is 20. And the crit, okay, so keep that in mind, 20. You gotta roll on the crit table. D12. 9, which will be knocked, no, times 1.5. So we did, was it 5 plus 12, 17 plus 19. Okay, so half that, round down, is going to be 9. Yeah, 9. 28. More than he has here. So obviously, this sucker goes down. She's hurt, but he's hurt worse. So that's roughly how you do combat. Now, there's more nuances to it than that, like defensive rolls. Now, obviously, you can't dodge a bullet, but if you were doing melee attacks, she could have tried to dodge out of the way if she wanted to. That type of thing. Also, too, when she encountered this thing here, she would have suffered some sort of stability attack, which in this case here, let's say, for example, it was 2d8, okay? She would have taken 13 to her stability. Of course, she's got 22 stability, so it means she'd still be calm. But had she got kicked over to nervous, her skills would have been offset by 1 point. So as you get damaged more in your psyche and your physical things, you're going to suffer penalties to your skill because you're hurt and you're losing your shit. So it can be deadly, but not so deadly you're going to get snuffed out right away. You have to play smart and really want to use some team tactics here and work as team players. Furthermore, in the game, your fate, you can use this to actually help other allies on your team. So if you got an ally who's really tore up, he just got hit, and you got plenty of fate sitting around, you can say, you know what, I'm going to spend my fate to help make sure he doesn't take some damage. So it's kind of cool that way. If you have more questions, hit me up in the comments, and we still got, I think, about a week left on our Kickstarter. So if you're interested and you haven't pledged already, check it out. We got great deals. After this launch, when we do finally print this, the prices will go up. So the prices we have on Kickstarter will not be what the retail will be afterwards. So get them now while you can. Great deals and great game, and I think you'll be really happy with it. Thanks again for listening, and I will talk to you guys later.